Hello, and welcome to Simply Vanilla Sim's very first speed build. I am super excited to share this with you guys today. I'm building a simple cottage for a medium-sized family with 4 bedrooms. And this one's called the Gingerbread Cottage, as you could tell from the title. And it's mostly a one-story house with a small bonus bedroom upstairs, which has a little bit of a seating area as well. I am predominantly a builder in The Sims. I spend a lot of time just building houses that I never live in and that I really never even play with. So I thought this might be a fun way to share those with other people since speed builds seem to be really popular. So, and I like watching other people's speed builds. It's always fun. So I thought I'd give it a try. So here I'm just constructing the basic shape of the house. The master bedroom is over on the right here, and on the left are the 2 other bedrooms that are connected by a Jack and Jill bath. So I'm just kind of playing with sizing. I'm very neurotic about how things fit together and the shape of things, and if there's enough room to play comfortably and it's not too far to walk from the bedroom to the kitchen and things like that. Because ultimately I like the houses that I build to be actually usable as a player and not just look really awesome as well. So I don't use move very often, which is move objects. I don't typically cheat too much. Otherwise, as far as like skill objects and things like that, I feel like if people want those, they could add them to the game. You know, maybe I'll make a skill house or something. But mostly I just build kind of usable houses that I can enjoy and hopefully other people can enjoy. So this is sort of one of those types of houses. I'm starting to build the second floor there. That will be the bonus room. And Sims 4 is a little better, in my opinion, with the roofs than Sims 3 was. It's very user-friendly. They all fit together really well, whereas Sims 3 was a real disaster to try to get your roof lines all to match. So I enjoy building in The Sims 4. It is different. It took me a while to get used to it, as opposed to the alternative style. But once I got into it, I found that building was very enjoyable. So this is going to be the second master bedroom. There is one on the main floor as well. And this will also have a little bit of a lounge area for your Sims to enjoy. So I don't want too much sticking out. I kind of like to enjoy a complicated roof line and have some dormered windows to get some light upstairs. But ultimately, it is a single-story house with this bonus area. So usually I complete the outside structure of the house and paint and landscaping to some degree, and then I furnish at the very end. People just do whatever works for them. So these will be dormered windows into the second story, and I think I'm going to build a porch on this house and see how that looks, because I like to have a little entryway that sort of announces your presence to the world when you pull up in your non-existent car, your loading screen. So this will be shuttered, and just sort of playing with the color. I don't know. Can't really decide. I usually have some idea in my mind and then change it, after I've built the whole thing. So we'll see this thing go through several iterations of colors, I'm sure. But I haven't built anything with these black shutters in a while. This is sort of fairly traditional house, really more of a cottage, especially with its sort of small layout. The lot isn't all that big. I think it's a 30 by 40 lot. I also think I'm in the world of Newcrest. I honestly can't remember. Yeah, this is the world of Newcrest. This is that single lot on the corner next to that fishing pond. So, we'll see. Now this is, I struggled a long time trying to figure out where to put the stairs in this house because I had built the whole thing, and that is one of the most difficult things I find in The Sims 4 is the stair placement is very touchy. You have to get, enough squares in the whole 9 yards. So I was just sort of messing around for ages trying to get it right because I didn't really like anything. It all sort of seemed to block my play view because I am a walls down player. Or half walls, I should say, not completely down, but sort of play as you see on the screen in live mode. So I like to be able to see the whole house, usually from the front or the back or the side angles well, and see my Sims playing. Usually I play a little more zoomed in than this. This is for building purposes. But, ultimately, it's a struggle really to figure out sometimes where to put the stairs and make it work for the house. So this went through a few iterations of configuration. So building the back porch now, and that room that I'm working on with the windows and the door is the kitchen, and the other room directly below it is the dining room, and the fireplace is in the sort of open living kitchen area. And there's a little library office as well where the stairs are, and the rest of the rooms are bedrooms and bathrooms. So it's a very usable house. That is the Jack and Jill bath that connect the two side bathrooms, and this is the master downstairs with a large bathroom. And this is the upstairs master suite, which will have a seating area and its own bathroom. So your Sims will have sort of a little private area. You could convert it to whatever you wanted if you decided to download this house, which it is on the gallery, and you can click on the link below or at the end of the video to download it. So here we are putting in the windows for the second story, and I kind of like to mix up the shapes and sizes of things and sort of play with what works for the shape of the house, and sort of trying to continue on with this black and white theme. The house came to its name from ultimately the color it became in the end, and when I looked at it, it just sort of reminded me of a gingerbread house. So we will see what that looks like once the color goes on and see if you could agree with me. But ultimately, I'm very picky about all these things, and I always make a million decisions and try a million things and ultimately end up with something, completely different. So this is the original color that I picked, and then I tried it in gray, and not loving the gray. Red, not loving the red. I was really struggling with the color on this house. I wanted it to be interesting, but not, over the top, because it's ultimately just kind of a basic family home. And I went with the brown because I liked it, and it seemed earthy, and I've sort of been oogling Windenburg, and this reminded me sort of the area of the houses in Windenburg, so not so German looking necessarily in some of them. But I'm playing with the columns here and trying to figure out what I like and changing the colors, and I don't think I liked the ones with the stone more because I wanted this thing to have really elegant columns, big stone columns, and they don't really exist in The Sims. And so I was sort of improvising here with those little half walls in between to make them look fuller. And there's always different bits of flooring and the stairs to determine how things look. And now it's starting to look more like a real house altogether. I always add little top bits to be able to put different trims because the columns stick out on so many of these. So I always like to cover them with an additional trim. I'm just kind of trying to figure out how to finish off the outside of the house, what little details and trim bits could be added to make it look more interesting. I always find that to be sort of part of the value of the homes that I build is that they're always attractive, and I would want to live there. They look very much like real life homes. They're often based on real life homes, either some picture or floor plan or a house that I've seen in real life, my own house, some things like that. So I enjoy making houses that are usable and functional and look realistic as well. Very rarely do I make a fantasy house, so it's very, very, very rare for me. But yeah, we'll see how well these goes. I enjoyed building these houses, so I figured I might as well share it with everybody else while I do it. I'm constantly building. I spend most of my time building, which is very funny, considering. And I figured, why waste that time and why not share it with everybody? And since I build so much anyway. So now we've got the outside of the house pretty much completed, and I'm just adding the finishing sort of exterior touches, and probably do some landscaping. I always like nice, lush landscaping in my builds, because I figure that's sort of the realistic way a house should look anyway. So a bare lot doesn't really work out for me. Although that does usually mean my houses are rather expensive. I'm fairly sure this one is almost 200,000 simoleons for your sim. So you would have to earn some money before you'd be able to live here potentially. But that's where all that landscaping and such goes. I didn't use super high-end stuff in here, sort of the mid-range for the kitchen appliances and so forth. But even so, it racks up really fast. It's ridiculous. I'm really one of those people that usually just cheats money for example, my Sim Self family. They don't worry about their bills. They have all the money in the world and do whatever they want, live in extravagant houses. I think, my most expensive bill from them was something like $20,000 maybe more. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, so, I unfortunately, it doesn't seem to go together, those two things, being frugal and living in a well-decorated, well-landscaped house. So um, I have some starter builds on my website if you're interested in living in a more modest home. No speed build starters yet, but maybe in the future. You can find my homes on the gallery under my EA Origin username, which is love_wasabi, WASAAI, excuse me. And then also my blog is simplyvanillasimsblog.wordpress.com, and you can also download all of my houses from there as well and check out the other blog content. So I'm adding some seating here on the porch. I always like to sort of have a front porch seating, especially with this big, nice, long front porch that I put on this house. This is a small lot, so it's relatively close to the curb there. This lot in Newcrest, I don't recall what the lot is on the actual lot name. But anyway, it's the actual front of the lot is the other side of the street where that fire hydrant is. And so the gallery pictures look really strange, but it doesn't really matter in the gameplay because it's only where your sim lands after work and things like that. Although I'm not sure if it's like Sims 3 where you can click like the front of the lot and stuff like that if they've gotten that advanced. Probably not. I would imagine they're really quite bad as far as that has gone, and Sims 3 really just had so many more world editing options than Sims 4 has, but it is still early in its iteration of its life, so I would imagine that eventually they will catch up and be hopefully as customizable, if not certainly just as entertaining. I like them both as games, but Sims 4 is just such a smoother running game. So here is a side garden that will have some harvestable garden plots for your sim if they so choose to want to garden. Usually I end up gardening with my sims, like trees and some stuff to cut down on the cost of cooking and things like that with the families, certainly with the families that are trying to earn money and live in a more official Sims way as opposed to the cheater way of Motherlode. So I like to clutter things up, have a little garden bench here and there, some garden tools sort of make it look lived in. I always enjoy my Sims to think about living where, like they are living in the real world. I've never been keen on the supernaturals or anything like that, so I am a real life player. And my houses end up reflecting that. I quite enjoy the paint tool. It can cut down on expenses when building. All that is free, as opposed to the floor tiles, which are, I think $4 is or 4 simoleons, I should say, is the cheapest floor tile you can buy. So that adds up quite quickly when you're trying to make a somewhat affordable home for people to enjoy. I realized since I've been playing on my blog a family that's doing the Rags to Riches challenge, and I don't think we've even gotten to 200 simoleons in the game. We're fairly close, but given the fact that their goal is to earn a million simoleons, that's taking quite a while. They're both adults now. They have children who will soon be adults. And it's time consuming to earn that much money. So playing without cheats is a challenge. And I amend many of the people that choose to do that all the time. Whereas for me, it is something that I challenge myself to do because it is not how I usually play the game. And frankly, considering that Sims 4 has so few expansions and things that sort of expand the gameplay at this point, it gets quite boring quite fast when you've maxed out all of your skills and you have more money than God and you don't know what to do anymore. So, this kind of stuff sort of makes things a little more interesting. Speaking of new expansion packs, I am super excited for Get Together. I cannot wait. I'm hoping that the fact that they pushed back the release date has made it so that there will just be good things that have been added, as opposed to feeling a little bit like they've left things out like the last time around. So only time will tell whether or not that is truly the way it's going to go down. But anyway, so I tend to, especially for this particular build, there is no move objects used. I am just simply trying to get everything to go down without cutting things off, because I find when you use a lot of moo and people download it from the gallery, a lot of times you're missing like half the objects, things like that, and it looks very weird with the landscaping when you have a big fat hole of missing items. So, I try to kind of make things a little more natural looking, but also usable for every single person. I'm also what I like to refer to, and it is also fairly well known in the simming community, as a vanilla player. I play with no mods and no custom content of any kind. And what that really means is that I just play with the gameplay objects and am limited to those items. And I find that a lot of moo can lag the game. I do utilize it every once in a while, of course, but I find ultimately that playability ranks higher than the need to have a absolutely clutter-filled house. Although I do find that filling up shelves and certain things keeps from dirty plates being stashed in weird places. I've seen them in some strange spots, like the vertical plate in the child's creativity drawing thing is very strange. But, and also I've found rotting plates behind all sorts of weird clutter items on cabinets and things like that. You never know where a lurking plate will be. So I've moved on to the inside of the house and am decorating my favorite room in the house, in my own house, which is the kitchen, and my favorite room in any house, really, and what I believe to be the heart of the house, which is the kitchen, obviously. So I like big kitchens with lots of island and counter space. These counters are probably my favorite in the game. I use them all the time. I don't know why. I'm just drawn to them. You've got mid-range stove, mid-range sink, and refrigerator here. So, good quality meals, but we didn't break the bank too much on the kitchen here in that way. Again, trying to be economical, but I also do feel that that other stove is just a fire hazard. So, again, we've got the formal dining room off to the right, and just a little short walk over from the kitchen here. And then, of course, we have open plan living area over there with the fireplace. And I like to have my kitchens fully stocked with all of the amenities, which would include, we tried the bar. It didn't really seem to fit for me as much as I would have liked eating kitchen. Not in this particular one, but I do like to have microwave and a coffee maker and a tea brewer. And, of course, a dishwasher, now that we have them in the game through the free patch. That was very convenient. I liked that quite a bit. It's been great. All of the free content that they have added, I think, is really, pools really sort of was a mistake that they didn't put it in the base game, but hey, they made up for it. So I feel like they've done a good job with at least realizing that the free content that they have released really had to be free. So um, and again, I like to clutter some stuff up, but not overly much. Trying to make it look lived in. I love these hanging pots. I just think they're so cute. And this new shelf is great, but I don't think I end up finding room for it anywhere in the kitchen. I'm really weird. I like to design my houses so I can actually enjoy them in live mode, whereas a lot of, I can take some screenshots with the windows, with the walls up and stuff like that, but I don't play like that. And I like to enjoy the decorations that I can see. So my kitchens are always on an exterior wall, and, I try to be able to really utilize the decorative items on the walls that I can see. And I'll throw up something on the other wall every once in a while, but mostly it's all about being able to enjoy it in the game for me, because what's the point otherwise? So there's the kitchen. I'm sure I was just doing something, changing the TV channel or something there. I love these new spotlights in the ceiling. They're like floodlights or something. They're just great. And also these fake Restoration Hardware knockoff lights. I quite like them as well. So over here is, on the right-hand side, is the formal dining. On the left-hand side is the office room, and that is the living room there. And we'll have some couches and other seating, and Sims will be able to watch TV. And it's a little short walk to the bedrooms and also to the kitchen, of course, which is very important. I'm all about being able to maximize my ability to maneuver around the house as opposed to walking down long corridors, things like that. As much as I love big houses, it's just, you spend, 45 sim minutes walking from the bathroom to your bedroom. It's, ridiculous. So make it a little more usable here. And I don't usually use those chairs. I quite like them, actually. When I build my huge fancy mansions, they always get the nicest stuff. Although those chairs are quite nice. I like them. Always trying to shake things up, I guess. In what I use, I find that I use the same things over and over again, and my houses look very similar sometimes to me. But that may just be because I have, my own taste. And everybody has their own taste, and it's always reflected. I always love greenery and plants, and I especially like the bonsai plant, although I don't think I put one in this house. Not everybody likes taking care of them, so they really do need to be cared and groomed. Now we're going to do the formal dining room. Very simple, elegant room, in my opinion. It's got a big chandelier. I'm always one for a big chandelier. And, really just sort of decorate it simply. I put some flowers in here, more fresh items. I'm always into that. I think, flowers just really make a room. And I've stuck with the sort of brown and white theme of the rest of the interior of the house here in the dining room. Hopefully it is a place where many friends can gather and enjoy the wonderful meals cooked in this giant kitchen that your sim will have. And this is a library. I love these bookshelves. When they've put them in and get to work, I about swooned. I think that they are fantastic. And of course, I like to have a really comfy desk chair as well. Highest comfort, I think I picked. Just because it's really important if you're going to be a writer, or even if you're just trying to up your fun or anything like that, to have a really comfy desk chair and be able to really utilize that space for the best ability that it has. And these are bedrooms over here. This is the master. And it's supposed to be relaxing and calming to have a dark color as your bedroom color, so I thought I would give it a try here. I always like to experiment with moving things around, but ultimately beds in the corner, just a little too difficult to get side tables next to and utilize the rest of the room, especially in a master where you want to fit all of the accoutrements of fine living in there, the mirror, the full-length mirror and a nice dresser. And also, of course, some nice shades to block out the sun when you want to sleep in the morning, when you've had an especially wild night. That is always very important. And I'm a big fan of ottomans and stools in the bedroom. I don't know why I would have one in my own bedroom if I could find the correct one to match the wall color, which I'm sure my boyfriend's very happy that I haven't yet found. I'm sure he will deem it useless, but that's the way it always goes. So I'm moving on to the master bathroom. I wish ours was this big. It has plenty of room for both a standing shower and I always like to have a jetted tub. Feels nice and relaxing for the master bedroom. Of course, you always want to have the most luxurious bathroom. So there's your shower, and there's the beautiful jetted corner tub. I love this tub. I wish. We do have a nice jetted tub, though, I must say. Not the best toilet there, just does the job. That's all you really need it to do. So, I always like to get really high-end showers, however, because I think that really pays off in the end. It's quite worth the additional money on the shower because you really never know. And I do find that it extends the life of your hygiene bar so much longer when you've had a better shower. And, they look nasty when they've gotten all stinky. But I always like to put some plants in the bathroom as well. I find that is something that makes it a little bit less monotone white. I like things to be clean and white in the bathroom, which would explain the extremely monotone looking white walls and things like that in this bathroom. And there we go. So we've got some little wall boxes and more clutter items to make it look more like a bathroom. And this is from the spa one, the little soap bar. I quite like some of the bathroom accessories. And of course some incense, although you must be very careful because the incense will catch on fire. Just about anything around it. So, but yeah, just pretty much don't leave it burning unattended is the answer. And now we are starting on the Jack and Jill bath, which connects the two other downstairs bathrooms. And I've diverted to add a wall decoration outside. That is just so me. I sometimes notice these random things and go, oh my God, I have to fix that right now. So there's our Jack and Jill bath. As you can see, you go into the bedrooms and then you have a little extending doorway from both bedrooms into the bathroom. And these are not the most expensive beds, but good quality, so you'll get a good night's sleep. Kind of just generic bedrooms that anybody would be drawn to. More dark walls, because it is supposed to be calming for sleeping simmies to be surrounded by a dark, soothing color. So, and of course, more shades so they can block out the sunlight when they want to sleep in. I don't think I ended up putting dressers in these rooms. I just decided it was too cluttered. And also just sort of a waste of money. Ultimately, you don't really need a dresser. You just need a mirror. And there's a dresser in this other room. So you'll be able to utilize the dresser elsewhere. And now we're going to do the second floor. And which is the second floor master suite. And that will have a little seating area and a little dressing area. And, potentially could just be like bonus space if you would rather have like a gym or, an art room or something like that. Doesn't have to necessarily be a bedroom, but potentially this home will fit I don't know. So if you have two people upstairs and two more people downstairs, that's 4. You could potentially fit 8 couples in this house if everybody slept, there was 4 beds. So you could fit a big household in here potentially, and wouldn't actually make it all that expensive. And this room turned out, the master suite upstairs turned actually out to be probably my favorite room in the house. It's really fantastic. I love these closet items, and I'm super excited for walk-in closet options in the future. That is just like really one of my favorite things. I think it was from Sims 2 originally. I can't quite recall. I'm pretty sure they were in The Sims 2. They came with one of the expansions. And these are going to be just fantastic, in my opinion. The new walk-in closets. You can woohoo in them, kids can play in them, and I think they'll open up a lot of new gameplay options, which is just really exciting. So this is just really for the most special couple of the house. They have their own little private seating area here and their own dressing table area and a little closet area over there that I already created. And they have a large personal bathroom with another, of course, jetted tub, which is sort of my favorite item to put in really any house. Because I really feel that it is sort of necessary, as horrible as I am. And of course, a stand-up shower, just because that's a little faster than washing yourself in the tub. So let's do a little clutter here, so it makes it really looks like it's lived in. And of course, I like to add some boxes, and I'm going to add that shelf as well with some clutter items on it to make it look more lived in. And of course, I think I also will add a incense dispenser and some wall art. I think that nice beach art really makes that very much more lively than something that is so sterile otherwise with the white walls, but it's also very clean looking. And then I'm just refitting the roof here over that area. It's very hard to decorate with the walls up without the roof on. So now it looks like I am just about finished here. And now we're going to go and see some candid shots. This is the front of the house. And this is the other side of the house with a view of the garden. This is the backyard with the little seating area around the fountain and the back entrance to the garden. Here's the garden. Some objects that you can use for gardening, a little seating area, the lovely kitchen and open living area with the TV and a large gourmet kitchen, formal dining room with chandelier and lovely lanterns. The office and library, complete with art area, and this is the downstairs master bedroom. This is the downstairs master bathroom. I always like this large open bath area. This is one of the downstairs rooms that has a Jack and Jill bath, which is the door to the right. And there is the Jack and Jill bath. And the other bedroom is to the right here, with the door there. Just a different bedspread. This is the upstairs master suite with the little walk-in closet area over there and the seating area. And then it also has its own bathroom over here with a beautiful walk-in shower and tub and a Caribbean photo, so thank you everybody for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. You can click below to do that.